It's so easy to just go there, you know what I mean? But, like, I'm on thin ice already, so we're just going to keep rolling along. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage next, by way of Parkersburg, West Virginia, it's Tad Hudkins.
Crackpots, how are you tonight? We're all happy, except that we have to have a moment of silence because we just had a recent passing. So bow your heads and appreciate the moment of silence for Spirit Airlines. Yeah, what the irony! As you ascend the heavens, you can experience hell. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am from West Virginia. What would I used to do? I used to go around the state of West Virginia doing annual audits of local governments. I've been to places about that big. I've been to places where the GPS said no. Let me tell you, I've been in some small places. This is a true story. I once stayed in a motel in which there were two paintings on the wall, both side by side. The wall on the left was a painting of a left eye. The wall on the right was a painting of a right eye. And during that night, there was a grand total of 4 eyes open. And during the night, one of those eyes blinked. The problem is that eye did not belong to me. So I had to get out of that place. I had options. I can go through the door. I can go through the window. Evidently, I chose the third option. I missed both and went through it. Went through the wall between it. Almost like if Wile E. Coyote went through the wall. When they did the news story about it later, they said, I didn't know we had the Kool-Aid man stay at our hotel. I went, hey, I've lost weight. But anyway, let me tell you, I've actually done a lot of traveling. Any of you been to a Mexican restaurant recently? You ever notice how long their menus are? I mean, they're long. I'll tell you what, some of them are so long, a couple of them made Oprah's book club. And of course, because I travel, I go to Waffle House, and Waffle House is very different because if you go there, if you spill water on the floor, the water will start making the floor will start making its own gravy. But anyway, let me tell you this. I actually, my grandma is on a farm. She is 91 years old. And you know what? She keeps the TV a little loud. And you can tell it's a little loud because all the cats now have hearing aids. You know how people with hearing aids talk loudly? You know, cats do the same thing. Meow! Meow! And I made the mistake one time of turning on Grandma's TV. And let me just say this. You ever watch an action movie? Something explodes and the person just flies back? That was me. I flew back into the shelves. And Grandma was pretty lucky that day. Because if I was turning in another direction, Grandma would have a brand new entrance to the front porch. How are we going to explain this whole to Grandma? Oh, tell her she's already wanted a sliding glass door always. She's 91. She don't remember anything anymore. Let's see. Okay. But let me tell you a little bit about because one of the things I have done is I have actually herded cattle. Yeah, I have herded cattle before. And one time I had to walk into this big weeds. And all of a sudden I started hearing... Someone shouted, "Stampede!" I gotta say, have you ever been in a situation so stressful that you forgot to know how to pray? I'm just going there going, oh, who do I ask? Who do I ask? Think of someone high, almighty, and powerful. Think of someone high, almighty, and powerful. Oprah! Oprah, can you hear me? Well, evidently I did survive the whole thing. And as I walked out, I noticed the field was covered in cow patties. Except I got to take that back because I believe one of them was mine. It just slid out the end of my pants leg out to the end of that. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you've all been a good audience. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to leave you all with a joke I've had. One time, I went to my first ever comedy festival. This is my second one. I went to my first ever comedy festival, and I got to sit behind this man. You know how some people have the double chin? Okay, now imagine that double chin going all the way around his neck. Yeah, he had no neck. It was all chin, okay? Yeah, he was a real dickhead, I'll say that. And let me just say this. After sitting behind him for 45 minutes, depending on how his head leans, it can go from looking like it's circumcised to uncircumcised. And you know what? That is my time, and I want to thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'm Tad Hudkins.
Hudkins from Parkersburg, West Virginia.